WOCA. Ocala. Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA. Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
You're listening to WOCA, The Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM. And as we wrapped up AM Ocala Live, just here for the top of the 11 o'clock hour, with October being just a little bit special here, with it being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, as we're just going to take a little bit of time here talking to Dr. Funk. Good morning, Doctor. Glad to have you with us today here at The Source.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Absolutely. So we wanted to discuss just a little bit, to take a few minutes to bring about the idea of October with Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Yeah, so Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October, it turns out women have breasts all year long, and we need to pay a little bit more attention to them. Now more than ever, to be honest, COVID has dropped screening down 62%, and new diagnoses are down 52%. But cancer hasn't gone into quarantine. It's there, undiagnosed, multiplying and dividing. So I've teamed up with a bunch of fabulous celebrities and the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine to bring you the Let's Beat BreastCancer.org campaign, where we encourage women to take a pledge to follow a science-based, four-pronged approach to beating breast cancer, and that is to choose plant-based foods, exercise regularly, maintain a healthy weight, and limit alcohol. Just by signing up, you get a free e-cookbook, a chance at cool giveaways. We've got weekly newsletters with practical advice on how to integrate all the above steps into your life. It's really fun. So let's beat breastcancer.org. And the reason why this campaign is so important is because people don't realize they think breast cancer is like largely genetic. It's either in the family or fate or not. And that is so untrue. Only 5 to 10% of all breast cancer comes from an inherited mutation. And 87% of people diagnosed don't have a single first-degree relative with breast cancer. So it's truly in our daily choices that we're setting ourselves up for failure or health.
So, I think that's important to kind of mention there. Yeah, because I think nowadays there is that misconception there that it is predominantly genetic, and it's one of those we're predisposed. That's it. It's just the way it goes. But you're saying there's actually so much more that we can do. That, like you said, 87% of the majority is actually kind of maybe brought on by something else to come with health.
Absolutely. And the science points to very controllable risk factors, right? It's not like you have to eat some obscure food. We're just saying, hey, more fruits and veggies, more beans, peas, lentils, and getting a move on. You don't even have to be super sweaty and exercise 5 hours a week. Just put a little dance into your dusting and household chores, take the stairs, just move more. And 72% of America is overweight or obese, and literally that doubles your risk for breast cancer. And once you have breast cancer, doubles your death from it. So you've got to lose the extra pounds and limit the alcohol. So let's beat breastcancer.org puts that all into a tidy package with a bow and makes it fun to do. So I encourage everyone to join, take the pledge.
Absolutely. On that side note, mind if I ask you, I had heard rumor that with soy, that a lot of times that plays into a part of it, and there's been the talk about how soy is in a lot of different products and everything that we have or eat. Is that one of those things that can contribute to that as well?
Adam, what a great question. I love this question because I was out there stating that people should spit soy out of their mouths, and I thought it was a plant-based estrogen that fueled cancer. 80% of cancers are fueled by breast cancers are fueled by estrogen. And then I went to write my bestseller called Breast, the Owner's Manual, dove into the nutritional science to prove what I was saying with science and facts, and I was embarrassingly wrong. So it turns out that soy as a phytoestrogen actually hits a receptor that shuts the cancer estrogen receptor down. So those who consume soy have about 60% less breast cancer, and if they have breast cancer, they have 30 to 60% less recurrence and death. So soy in its whole food form or minimally processed, like soy milk and tofu or tempeh or miso, these are all extremely helpful. You mentioned processed, like sort of like soy burgers and such. That's protein isolate which may or may not have health benefits, but it's not bad for you. So soy it up for sure.
Interesting. And that, again, and I think that's what's awesome about our segment and the idea of breast cancer awareness is having these conversations, these misconceptions kind of drawn out there. And that's, I know, that's a big one. And that's why I had to bring it up as I worked for a little while in a nutrition center. And that at the time was this big kind of overreach of information that was all about what was there when soy come out to be the culprit, the bandit, if you will.
Yeah, in addition to my book, we've got an entire website dedicated to educating women, and it's a social platform, so there's over 30,000 women actively there. It's called Pink Lotus Power Up. If you go to pinklotus.com, blogs, videos, educational tools, like a whole thing just on soy, for example. So we teach you all about these things. And there's also, as I mentioned, the community. Stress is such a big factor that's unrecognized in cancer causation and progression, so much so that there's a big study that shows a 58% bump in mortality in early stage breast cancer for those who report out low social connection. So we've also created Breast Buddies. It's in pinklotus.com, but breastbuddies.com will get you there, where it pairs newly diagnosed women, age for age, stage for stage, treatment to treatment, with someone who's been there, done that, which is so amazing, solely for the purposes of support and friendship. It's all entirely free, the entire platform. So that's another great resource for your listeners.
Incredible, right? Just when it comes down to human connection and just how powerful that can be in the right, positive attitude and everything else. I wanted to touch base, like you mentioned, at the beginning with your preface, is the idea that in this crazy year 2020, COVID has had its impact, and you just scratched the surface of that in the beginning. I want to talk a little bit more about that briefly, about what that's meant for women to get out there and get checked as often as they used to. 2020 has changed the dynamic of that.
Dramatically so. So breast imaging is down 62% versus pre-COVID numbers. Genetic consults down 26%. Breast surgery down 21%. And I mentioned the scariest stat, which is breast cancer diagnoses are down 52%. But those cancers aren't disappearing. They're there. And this is the unrecognized truth. At the same time these undiagnosed cancers are proliferating, we women are embracing the very behaviors that science has shown increase cancer risk and death. So, the letsbeatbreastcancer.org campaign is all about these things that are on the rise right now with COVID. Alcohol consumption, online purchases have shot up 500%, according to Nielsen ratings. And then exercise, well, all the gym closures and parks, et cetera, people are exercising less. They find themselves working from home. They're sitting around. Sedentary women have 40% more breast cancer. Then they're making poor food choices, right? They're stress baking, having these ultra-processed, pantry-stable snacks, and they're gaining weight. The quarantine 15, it sounds cute, but it's really quite deadly. Yeah. And then stress, we just touched on that. People are anxious, they're lonely, they're isolated, depressed. So COVID is really about to spike cancer numbers and slightly more advanced stages is my prediction over the next 3 years.
Right. And I think just the biggest one of all is the stress and anxiety that this year has put on. That alone, hinders everything, like we said, with that positive mental attitude, whether it be just to take the initiative to want to do a little something extra to make yourself feel healthier. There's this angst and anxiety that always kind of wins that battle, so to speak. So like you said, you could see where the issues lie with that and why it's still important to bring that awareness like we're doing now, to continue to have that conversation, and especially in this month of October, which is there for it. So, Doctor, we appreciate the time. A lot of great stuff there, and if you want to go ahead and plug where the listeners can go for more of that information one more time, that would be great.
Thank you. So take the pledge at letsbeatbreastcancer.org and join the community at pinklotus.com.
Excellent. Doctor, thank you so much. You guys have a good rest of the weekend and continue to give that great information out there. We appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
You got it. And we'll be back with the Conservative Watch Hour after this. You're listening to WOCA, the Source, 96.3 FM, 1370 AM.